Hello and welcome to Spectrum Television News at 4. I am Uyai Anyakan, coming to you live from Uyo, the capital city of Akwa Ibom State, Nigeria. Let's take a look at some of the major stories. President Tinubu says Atiku's application to submit CSU documents abuses court process. Federal government shifts delivery of Lagos-Ibadan expressway to November. Plus, Norway foreign minister sacked over husband stock trades. We'll bring you details of this story in a moment. Good afternoon and thanks for joining us. First in the news this afternoon is Nigeria's leader, President Bola Tinubu, who has urged the court to dismiss the application by the presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, Atiku Abubakar, seeking to submit documents from the Chicago State University. Recall that Atiku had approached the United States Court for the Northern District of Illinois to compel the university to release Tinubu's academic records. The court ruled in his favor and handed him the president's credentials. However, in a response filed by Tinubu's lead counsel, Wole Olanipekun, he described the application as a crass abuse of court processes. Tinubu argued that the apex court should not consider the application since such a matter was not brought before the tribunal within the prescribed time frame allowed by the Constitution. Meanwhile, President Tinubu has presided over his second Federal Executive Council FEC meeting and sworn in the three newly appointed ministers. The brief swearing-in ceremony took place at the Council Chamber Presidential Villa Abuja before the commencement of the FEC meeting, which is the second in Tinubu's administration. The ministers who were screened on October the 4th were sworn in by President Tinubu. The ministers include Jamila Ibrahim, Kwara State, Balarabe Lawal, Kaduna State, and Ayodele Olawande, Ondo State, who will now join the 45 other ministers who were approved by the Red Chamber in August. In the meantime, the authorities of the University of Ilorin says President Bola Tinubu, the institution's visitor, will on October 23rd unveil some projects its administration recently completed. The university's Director of Corporate Affairs, Kunle Okogun, disclosed this in a statement highlighting the institution's combined 37th and 38th convocation ceremonies. Okogun stated that the ceremonies will begin on Friday with a special Jumat service, followed by an interdenominational church service on Sunday. The Uni Ilorin spokesperson noted that Saturday would be Convocation Day 2 for the conferment of degrees and honors on all the 2021/2022 final year students of 4-year and 5-year academy records. Away from that, the Minister of Works, Stephen Umahi, said the federal government has shifted the delivery of Lagos-Ibadan expressway to November. Umahi disclosed this while speaking during an interview with newsmen. The minister identified funding as a major challenge facing the project and promised that his ministry would soon approach President Bola Tinubu for intervention. Umahi also said the continuous piling of asphalt on the third mainland bridge could cause vehicles to overturn. From the Red Chambers, the Senate President, Senator Godswill Akpabio, and Governor Dakpo Abiodun, who were reportedly held in traffic for 3 hours on the dilapidated Lagos-Ota Abeokuta, have pledged the Senate's support on completion of the road. Speaking at the program, Akpabio said traveling on the road, he experienced firsthand the hardship Nigerians using the road were being subjected to. Promised to give the necessary support to Ogun State to ensure the reconstruction of the road. Senator Akpabio also used the occasion to advise youths in Yewa land and the state as a whole to stay off drugs and fraudulent activities, assuring them that their lives would be better if they can stay clean. Earlier in his remarks, Abiodun pleaded with the Senate to prevail on the federal government to transfer the reconstruction of the Lagos-Ota-Abeokuta road to the state because of its importance to the socio-economic development of the state. The governor said it took him 3 hours to drive from Abeokuta to Ilaro, noting that efforts made by the state to ensure the transfer of the road did not yield any positive results. On electoral matters, the Bayelsa State Resident Electoral Commissioner Obo Efanga has maintained that polling unit results will be uploaded on the INEC result viewing portal IREF for the Bayelsa, Kogi and Imo governorship polls, while the chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission INEC, Mahmoud Yakubu, had reportedly said results will not be uploaded on the IREF. Efanga maintained that the electoral body will be deploying it for the off-season elections billed for November 11, 2023. According to him, the portal is ready and was used in the recent mock accreditation held ahead of the elections. He therefore expressed confidence that with the deployment of technology, the polls will be hitch-free. Back here on the home front, Akwa Ibom State Governor Pastor Omoina has urged state citizens in top echelon of the military and other federal government agencies to identify with their home state to familiarize themselves with governance and development needs of the people. The governor, who stated this when he treated the Chief of Army Staff Lieutenant General Tawid Lakwaja and his entourage to a state banquet at Government House, Uyo, reiterated that his administration was open to participation by well-meaning indigents and would initiate a periodic convergence of such indigents for the purposes of uniting and moving the state forward. Pastor Omoino also commended Major General Uwem Basi for the initiative of undertaking an intervention to construct 3 new classroom blocks, renovate staff quarters, provide water and sanitation facilities in a rural school in the state, which were inaugurated by the Lakwaja, describing them as lofty and in line with the intents of his administration's Arise agenda. Government House correspondent Jane Noir reports that also speaking Major General Uwembasi of the Nigerian Defense Research and Development Bureau had thanked the government for the warm reception and appreciated the Army boss for initiating the community development program for senior officers in the Army to impact their communities and for granting him the approval and support to execute the project on his alma mater, the Mbiabongatam Primary School in Ini local government area. In the meantime, Governor Moino has paid a post-election thank you visit to Uyo Senatorial District, where he appreciated the people for the overwhelming support he garnered during his electioneering campaign that culminated in his victory at the March 18, 2023 poll. Addressing the crowd of party supporters who converged in Ikorekwe local government area, Governor Eno said his administration will deploy the Arise agenda model to take development to the hinterland of Uyo local government area by ensuring that it births a signature project as replicated in other senatorial districts of the state while furthering on the Uyo Development Master Plan. Earlier, the host and leader of Uyo Senatorial District, Senator Ifyong Bob, and the Deputy Speaker of the State House of Assembly, Kufre Basi Didem, commended the governor for deeming it necessary to go round to appreciate the district in line with his promise during the electioneering process, adding that his people were proud of him and pledged to give him maximum support throughout his stay in office. Government House correspondent Jane Uwa reports that the secretary to the state government, Prince Enobon Uwa, pointed out that the governor's gesture of returning to thank his people spoke volumes of his disposition toward the people of Uyo Senatorial District and therefore called on the people to rally support for the success of his administration. We move now to Africa, where Uganda and the Democratic Republic of Congo have agreed to mutually abolish visa requirements to allow visa-free travel between each country. The agreement is aimed at easing the movement of people and strengthening trade between the two countries. The agreement follows recent talks between the two countries. Officials in the DR Congo capital, Kinshasa, recall that Uganda's President Yoweri Museveni has for months been advocating for visa-free entry between the two countries. Liberia's President George Weah and opposition candidate Joseph Boakai are neck and neck in the presidential election results, with almost three-quarters of the vote results in. The country's National Elections Commission announced that Weah has a narrow lead of 43.8% against Boakai's 43.5% of the votes. With about 73% of the votes being turned in, the Commission had announced results from 4,295 of the country's 5,890 polling places yesterday. The announcements came as the West African regional bloc, ECOWAS, warned against declaration of premature victories. It also called for all parties to uphold peace as they awaited the results, adding that they would be held accountable for any actions that could lead to violence and instability. On the foreign scene, Norwegian Prime Minister Jonas Gahr Store today sacked Foreign Minister Anniken Huitfeldt following a share purchasing scandal as part of a broader reshuffle of his centre-left government. Huitfeldt, long considered Store's protege, admitted on August 30 that her husband had bought shares in much bigger volumes than she previously believed after she became foreign minister in 2021. The investments, including in the defense group Kongsberg Gruppen, which benefited from Norwegian state contracts amid the war in Ukraine, had raised questions about possible conflict of interest. Meanwhile, a parliamentary committee has opened an inquiry into the affair. Police have, however, said they see no need to investigate. Still on the foreign scene, British Prime Minister Rishi Sunak has condemned some incidents at pro-Palestinian marches in Britain as simply not acceptable after police made several arrests. London's Metropolitan Police Force said on Sunday evening that 15 people were arrested at Saturday's pro-Palestinian protest in the centre of the British capital. 3 men were subsequently charged with committing crimes, including a 68-year-old man suspected of making racist comments. The other 2 were charged with illegal knife possession and failing to remove a face covering. Reports say tens of thousands of people demonstrated in London and other UK cities in support of Palestinians on Saturday, a week after Hamas gunmen launched the deadliest ever attack on Israel after crossing the border from Gaza. According to reports, the Islamist militants killed 400 people and took dozens more. Meanwhile, the UK government and British police have said that they have noted a spike in anti-Semitic crime and incidents in Britain since the Hamas attack. Still to come in the news. IOC approves cricket for 2028 Los Angeles Olympics. Stay with us for details of these and more after the break. Thanks for staying tuned, and now to the rest of the news stories. On our business news, Nigeria's inflation rate rose to 26.72% in September 2023 amid soaring food prices and harsh economic realities occasioned by the removal of fuel subsidy in May. This was according to the September 2023 Consumer Price Index (CPI) and inflation report released by the National Bureau of Statistics (NBS) today. CPI, which measures the changes in the prices of goods and services, rose from 25.80% in August 2023 with an increase of 0.90 percentage points. More, the report said the food inflation rate in September 2023 was 30.64% on a year-on-year basis, which was 7.30 percentage points higher compared to the rate recorded in September of 2022 at 23.34%. Still in business, the Institute of Capital Market Registrars has said that an effective utilization of Nigeria's capital markets can help the nation to regain its economic momentum. This was disclosed by the President and Chairman of Council of the Institute, Oluseyi Owodoro. In a statement issued in Lagos, he added that the inherent opportunities in the capital market to help the nation regain its economic momentum would take center stage at the ICMR's 2023 annual conference slated for November in Lagos. On our health news, the Minister of Health and Social Welfare, Professor Ali Pate, says the federal government has made provisions for retired medical providers in non-administrative positions to be re-engaged on a contractual basis. He made the disclosure in Abuja while fielding questions from newsmen after his visit to the National Hospital Abuja. According to him, the provisions is to close the human resource gap being experienced in the health sector owing to various reasons, among which is the brain drain of clinical manpower. The minister said the government would do everything possible to retain those who are willing to return to the service. Still in health, public health physicians have called for sustained awareness of diphtheria and total vaccination of every child against the disease, especially those in the north, to preventable loss of lives. They also called for the sensitization of parents and those at the grassroots on the importance of the vaccination and implored parents to avail their children of the opportunity to get vaccinated to reduce the children's susceptibility and vulnerability to diphtheria. The calls came following the statement by the Executive Director, National Primary Health Care Development Agency, Dr. Faisal Shuaib, that over 80% of children who died of diphtheria or were admitted to hospitals never received routine childhood immunizations. Shuaib urged parents to ensure that their children are up to date with their vaccinations and appealed to caregivers to pay attention to personal and environmental hygiene. In sports, the International Olympic Committee (IOC) has approved cricket to feature as one of 5 new sports at the 2028 Olympic Games in Los Angeles. A vote of IOC's session in Mumbai approved cricket, together with baseball and softball, flag football, squash and lacrosse. The IOC's executive board last week accepted a proposal by LA organizers for 2020 cricket, the sport's shortest format, to be included other. The United States is set to field sides as the host nation, but no firm decision has been made on the number of teams or how they will qualify. Still in sports, Nigeria's men cricket team, the Yellow-Green, completed a clean sweep at the first West African Trophy concluded at the Tafawa Balewa Square in Lagos by winning all their 10 matches at the event. They routed Rwanda to 17 runs victory, their 4th win ever the East African side during the 20-match series that kicked off on Wednesday, October 4th, 2023. Nigeria had qualified for the finals of the West African Trophy after winning all her round-robin matches, which included playing Ghana, Sierra Leone and Rwanda. The 10th match was a placement that pitched Nigeria with 18 points against Rwanda, who had the second highest points, 8 from 4 matches. Moving now to our entertainment news. Former Big Brother Niger All-Stars contestant Mercy Eke has disclosed her desire and readiness to settle down. Mercy, who made this known in an interview with a media personality, Hero Daniels, stated that she does not want to be a baby mama, just like some of her other celebrity colleagues. When asked about how she's dealing with loneliness, Mercy said she does not want to be a baby mama. And that's all we have for you at this time. Do well to follow us on social media. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, all of which you can find on our website, spectrumtv.ng. You have been watching Spectrum Television News at 4. I am Uyai Aneka. Thanks for watching and enjoy the rest of your day. Good afternoon.